good evening folks, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Lee, your virtual airline pilot, back with you again with the second of this week's reviews. Just a short note to say that the previous review of San Francisco International will be redone. We'll be doing another review with the default scenery disabled, and they've released an update, so we'll have another look at that airport, hopefully at the weekend. But for now, we're in South Florida, and you're looking at Marathon Airport in South Florida, Kilo Mike Tango Hotel. And I say good afternoon because it's actually the early evening. It's 7:30. I've decided to change the time just to give you a nice look at how this place looks. This is a payware scenery by Spinoza. Now there is another version out by MSFS SceneryBuilders. This one I think is a bit better, but I thought I would have a look at it, something different. South Florida is a very popular place to fly, especially if you've got a light aircraft or a helicopter. This is version 1, the release version for Flight Sim 2020. The download is 576 meg and it installs at 1.51 gig. It's currently available from Sim Market, and you can get it for €20.28, which equates to roughly $21.93 US or £17.25 UK. Those prices are estimates taken from the euro, and they do include tax or VAT at 20%, which of course could vary depending on your country of purchase. Okay, so the developer does not mention any specific key features, but he does state that the following is required for the scenery to really work properly. You need the World Update libraries, USA, Nordic countries and Oceania, for it to work really well. And also note that in the description on Sim Market, the T6 Texan aircraft, which is shown in the images, is not included in the scenery. Great, so let's have a look at some history. So history then. Florida Keys Marathon International Airport, or Kilo Mike Tango Hotel, is a public use airport located along the Overseas Highway US 1 in Marathon, Monroe County, Florida in the United States. The airport covers 197 acres or 80 hectares and is owned and operated by Monroe County. The airstrip in Marathon was built on 280 acres of land that was purchased at $70 an acre from Mr. Maitland Adams and Mr. Norberg Thompson of Key West. The project was started in the autumn or fall of 1942, and it was completed in the spring of 1943. Marathon Airport was constructed during the early days of World War II and was a portion of the US Navy flight programs. During the late 1960s and early 1970s, commuter air carrier American Air Taxi, or AAT Airlines, ran a limited passenger service into Marathon with small Cessna twin-prop aircraft. Also during the late 60s, Southeast Airlines was serving the airport with 3 flights daily to and from Miami as part of a Miami-Marathon-Key West route. After the demise of this service, Air Sunshine, an airline founded in Key West, served Marathon with Douglas DC-3 aircraft to and from Miami. For a time during the 70s and early 80s, Air Florida Commuter provided service to Marathon and Key West via a code-sharing agreement with Air Florida, followed by Provincetown Boston Airlines, or PBA. Other commuter airlines that served Marathon at various times over the years with prop and or turboprop aircraft included Air Miami, with the successor North American Airlines, Air South, Airways International, Bar Harbor Airlines operating a code-share service as Eastern Express on behalf of Eastern Airlines, Cape Air, Comair flying code-sharing services as Delta Connection on behalf of Delta Airlines, Gulfstream International, Pro Air, Shawnee Airlines and Southern Express. Delta Airlines announced planned non-stop regional jet service between Atlanta and Marathon to be flown by its regional subsidiary Atlantic Southeast Airlines, or ASA, on a code-sharing basis. Shortly after the Delta announcement, Continental Airlines announced that it would begin services to Marathon via its Florida code-sharing partner Gulfstream International. In July 2006, however, the Transportation Security Administration, or TSA, notified officials at Marathon Airport that due to shortage of personnel, the TSA would not be able to staff Marathon Airport with federal security screeners. Passengers would have to board and disembark at the general aviation ramp area on the opposite end of the runway instead of at the airport's passenger terminal. Both Continental and Delta then stated that using this area would be inconvenient to both passengers and airline staff, as it was caused lengthy delays in boarding. However, on December 1st, 2006, the TSA bowed to the effective lobbying efforts of the local government, congressional and business officials when it announced that screeners would be provided at the airport no later than the 15th of February 2007. As a result of the TSA decision, ASA began scheduled non-stop flights on behalf of Delta in February 2007 between Atlanta and Marathon, which marked the first time the airport had received a scheduled jet service. In the summer of 2007, however, Delta ended the service to Marathon due to low demand. In April 2016, for the first time in approximately 3 decades, U.S. Customs and Immigration Service became available at the Florida Keys Marathon International Airport. The airport currently does not have any scheduled passenger airline flights, but does have charter air services provided by Air Key West, Duck Key Charters and Monarch Air Group. So there you are, folks, some history. It's taken a while for this airport to sort of get going, but currently at the moment doesn't have any scheduled air services. However, with quite a decent runway, who knows, maybe it'll happen for them. And talking of runways, let's have a look at the runway here. Okay, so runways. Marathon Airport operates a single runway 2507, measuring 5,008 feet or 1,526 meters, and is constructed from asphalt. The airport lies at an elevation of just 5 feet or 1.5 meters and sits within the GMT UTC minus 5 hours time zone. Now, like much of the rest of the United States, Florida Marathon does indeed observe Daylight Saving Time, or DST, and with both the UK and Florida now on DST, the airport remains 5 hours behind the UK. So runways, we'll start with runway 25 and we're looking down the throat of it now. It features medium intensity runway lighting and precision approach path indicators on the left side, and that's according to the current Jefferson Navigraph chart dated March 2024 this year. As you can see in the scenery, we've got a centre line which is not listed, and the PAPIs are missing. They're not available on either side, which is a pity. The approaches for this runway have an RNAV GPS approach and an unspecified NDB-A approach option. So you can do an RNAV, but you've got no visual aid because the PAPIs are missing. I'd like to see that corrected. But the lighting's okay, and yeah, okay, even though they don't have a centre line, I'm quite happy with it being there. But the PAPIs are a proper landing aid that really should be in the scenery. Don't really know why they're not there. And by the way, I've checked the default scenery in the USA and I cannot find any default Asobo Marathon to be disabled. So let's look at the other end, runway 07. So here we are looking at the runway 07 end, which again, medium intensity runway lighting and runway end identifier lighting system, which basically is 2 white dots flashing either side of the runway. They're missing. And again, precision approach path indicators on the left side, and they're missing too. So Spinoza, Spinoza, if you're watching this, it would be nice if you could fix that. Certainly it would allow a better landing option during the dusk and darkness hours. Approach options, again you have an RNAV GPS approach option. Now this runway is fully grooved all the way down at both ends. So as you can see, we've got a centre line which is not on the charts, but we've got medium intensity approach runway lighting which is as per the charts. This end, runway 07, is missing the runway end identifier lights, the 2 white lights that flash either side of the runway edge, and we're missing the PAPIs on the left side, and the other end, runway 25, is missing the PAPIs. So those I'd like to see reinstalled or sorted out at some point if possible. So there you go, that's the single runway for you. No jetways at this airport, so let's get back to the daytime and have a tour and see what we're looking at here. Okay, so here we are back in the daytime, just after midday. A beautiful part of the world this is. Here you've got the airport fence line, just as it should be. Loads of palm trees, and here's the highway US1 that goes all the way down. So let's start a little tour. We've got the threshold of runway 07 here. So we're going to start southeast to north, southwest to northeast, all the way down airside and have a look. So as you can see, the ground looks pretty realistic, just as you'd expect it to be. There's a windsock. And as you can see, the fence line goes all the way down, which is quite impressive. Lots of hangars, Millionaire. And here you've got various aircraft as well. A couple of people on the ramp there. And here you've got this really nice hangar, which is beautifully built inside. And here's a view from inside the hangar, and you've got a couple of guys out there by this aircraft. And here's a nice little scene just outside the hangar, beautifully modelled building there. A couple of people, both landside and airside, and you've got the fence line as well. It all looks really nice. There's a fire station, a couple of firemen, that's good. You can see for the first time I've seen some proper firemen landside, outside there. But as you can see, the modelling is really nice, texturing is good, and the airport looks pretty real. And here we got one of the terminal buildings here, and we've got some people figures. It looks good, it looks really nice. And here we've got people airside on the ramp, police, marshals, etc., which is something I'd love to see, but it's so rare in many airports. As you can see, lots of detail. I like this, I really do. So general aviation area, a couple more people, some nice aircraft models, and plenty of open spaces for you to park your aircraft, which is excellent. Here's one of the fuel points, and again we've got people here, which kind of brings it to life a bit. Couple of helicopters, one of which is one I've placed there, and once again a nice car park, a really nice building. General aviation terminal, looks great, it really does. Helicopters and various bits and pieces down there. I mean, this is looking good, and even these buildings, which are to somewhat sort of nondescript, but they're fully weathered and textured. That's great. Loads of detail, it looks really good. I don't know Spinoza as a developer, so I'm guessing this is probably one of his first attempts, and it looks to be really good, I have to say. So a couple of short shots airside just to show you some of the interesting points. Nice, really nice building here, and I have to say I like the fact we've got some people dotted around here. It just brings this thing to life a bit more. Once again, another open hangar, bits and pieces, a couple of guys there, and some nice aircraft as well. And just a close-up shot of the hangar. And another nicely modelled hangar building there too. And here at the side of it you've got a couple of caravans and RVs. People sort of living here or spending time here on the airfield. Here's a close-up shot of that helicopter and the stunt plane there with a couple of static people. And here's the general aviation terminal, a couple of people landside and airside, got the fence line there, and police officer directing traffic. So here's the fuel station. As you can see there, we've got a couple of engineer or fuel attendant guys there. And a couple of chaps by this Cessna here. So here you've got the entrance airside, the US Customs and Border Protection area, sort of like the main terminal here. And it looks nice. You've got some customs officers there to the left, some passengers, and some very nice foliage and texturing which brings this terminal to life. It's very nice indeed. So a little tour landside. There you can see taxis, people, signage. Well, this is great. This is very, very nicely done. 3D roads as well, just what you want. And it all looks really nice. A couple of flags there, not animated, but I'm not complaining. We'll have a little whiz over the car park. Some nice car models, all sitting in their slots. No complaints about that. And I love these little palm trees dotted around as well. So as we come up to land side of the main building, here's the helicopters here, one of which is a model, and this one is the one I've placed here. It's nice, it is really nice. Not sure if that car is meant to be there, but all looks pretty realistic. Nicely done. Coming up on our little caravans and RVs, and to the right you've got the highway and you've got the default scenery on the right hand side, and again there you've got some detailed landside which looks good, and the fence line goes all the way around, which is just as it should be. You've got some floating objects to the right there, but that's a SOBO default scenery issues, nothing to do with this scenery. Okay, so that was a quick tour of daytime. Let's turn the lighting down to dusk now and have a look at the airside area at dusk. Okay, so 8 minutes past 8 in the evening. The lighting came on about 3 minutes ago. Here you can see centerline lights, green ones. Got the blue airfield edge lights and various bits of subtle lighting here in the main terminal. And there you can see various bits of subtle lighting on the car parks, and further down here as well to the lower end of the airport by runway 25 threshold. So here's the main terminal close up at dusk. Got the customs area there, and the internal lighting, which from here looks a bit sort of blash, but you know, I don't know. Let's go up a bit closer. So it would appear that you've got like shades or sort of like curtains sort of partially closed or something. It's not a bad effect actually, it's quite subtle, and you can still see the people on the ramp. Be interesting to see what it looks like when we go into full night mode. Here's the same building from landside. You've got a nice lit sign there, which is good, and you know what, it looks fine, it looks perfectly acceptable. It's very nice subtle lighting. It's typical for what you would see in this part of the US, and yeah, it looks nice, it's great. Oh, and the trees are swaying, look. That's the first time I've seen that. So we go back across the airport here, across the car park, back to airside. And there's some very nice down lighting on that building there. And there too, that's a FedEx building. Here we've got the fire station, and look, you've got a couple of firemen out there as well, which is great. Nice to see this building beautifully lit too. I mean, that looks great. And here we've got a hangar with an ATR inside, which I didn't see during the daytime. But it's nice. Very nice indeed. And overall, some very nice subtle lighting here. It's all been nicely done. So you've got various nondescript hangars here that actually come to life a little bit during the night time because of this lighting. Something I like, I really do. So here's the access to runway 7 threshold, taking off towards the north. And there's a view down the taxiway for you. And another sign there demarking the Alpha taxiway. So as you can see, the surrounding area has subtle lighting around it, which makes it look pretty nice. There we are looking across to the ocean, there's the runway. And there's quite a nice view of the airport as the sun continues to drop. So let's have a quick look at night time. Okay, 10 PM local time. As you can see, it's pretty dark. And it's okay. I mean, it looks there looks to be quite a bit of lighting even from this high up. Let's get a bit closer. So there you've got the hangar with the ATR inside and the down lighting on the other hangars. So a quick tour airside, and the lighting looks good. To be honest, it's improved. It lights all the right areas, and to be honest, I can't see any asobo globes either, which is really impressive. There's the main terminal, which is quite dark except for the windows. But overall, the lighting at night time's not bad at all. It's not great, but it's not bad. As you go right down towards the threshold of runway 25, you've got still more lighting on some of these buildings and hangars, which is good. It's a nice little scenery. Very nice. And you've also got some hangars over here on the other side of the runway. And there's a high level shot at night time. Now if I'm in the right place, we can bring the dawn up and we'll see what the effect is. Okay, 6:45 AM and there you have it. The red glow on the buildings, and the airport looks really quite nice. There's a low level shot of the main terminal, and yeah, it looks lovely, it really does. And they're looking towards the east, runway 7 threshold in the distance. It's a beautiful sight. Okay, 9:30 in the morning, and time to give you my thoughts and conclusions. Firstly, let me say right off the bat, this is a nice scenery. It is very, very nice. I do have the MS SceneryBuilders version, which was also pretty good and featured in an earlier helicopter video. This for me is better. Hard to say what the difference is, but it is better. I mean, for a start, it's got people, which add a bit of atmosphere. There's a lot more sort of going on, as it were. It's not a huge scenery, and it's not one of the best, but for the moment, certainly as regards Marathon Airport, this is, in my opinion, the best version. As I said, I'm not sure if Spinoza, if this is his first attempt. If it is, it's really good, and like to see him more. Do some more sceneries, because this is really nice. Do I think it's worth €21 or $22? I don't think so. It's a little on the expensive side. It's a small airport and there's not a huge amount of content. There's a nice amount for the size, but again, more could have been done. We're missing the pappies at both ends of the runways. It's not accurate for nav aids. That needs to be fixed. There probably is more that could be done here. I don't know. It's a nice airport, but I think for what it is, I don't think it's worth $22 or €21. It's nearer 18, I would think, 17 to 18 euros, $18, something like that. But as far as I know, I mean, I've since learned that SimMarket has its own pricing structure, and to some extent, developers don't always get the chance to sort of fix prices in an agreement with SimMarket, and there's more to understand about that, I think. But I'm not a developer, so I'm not privy to that process entirely. But would I recommend this? Yeah. If you like flying in Florida and you want somewhere interesting to fly, certainly as a stop-off from the Caribbean, this would be great. Great to take a helicopter out and fly down the Keys, or take a light aircraft and fly out to Bimini. It's lovely. It's really nice. And yeah, okay, it's a little on the expensive side, but if this is what you want, yeah, in terms of a scenery, it's well worth buying. It's really, really nicely done, and I like it. Okay, so there it is, Marathon Airport in South Florida, Kilo Mike Tango Hotel, payware scenery by Spinoza, and this is the release version 1 for the PC version of Flight Sim 2020. It's currently available at SimMarket, priced €20.28, which equates to roughly $21.93 US, or £17.25 UK. Those prices include VAT. They're taken from the euro and include VAT or tax at 20%, which of course could be different depending on where you are in the world when you make your purchase. No features listed by the developer. However, he does say that you need to have World Update libraries, USA, Nordic countries and Oceania installed. And if you were looking at the version, the thing on SimMarket, the T6 Texan aircraft shown in some of the images is not included in the scenery. But it's nice. It's a nice little scenery. I bought it as well. I wasn't given it by the developer. I paid for it because I also like this area of Florida, and happen to know a few people in this part of the world as well. Really nice. Love it. Very nice scenery. So there you go, folks. That was the second review this week. I'm going to try tomorrow and get in the review of Merida International Airport in Mexico. Simulación Extrema very kindly sent me the scenery for review. It's their latest offering, and it does look quite good. Nice little airport in Mexico that hardly anybody knew about, and we're going to take a look at it. So join me for that, and Again, I'll say to any of you guys, if you guys are going to Flight Sim Expo 24, I'm going to be visiting there as well. I'm flying into Los Angeles on the 19th, Wednesday the 19th of June, and I'll be staying at the Renaissance Hotel overnight and then driving up to Las Vegas the next morning on the Thursday. So anybody who knows me in LA wants to join me for dinner maybe on Wednesday evening, be lovely to see you. But failing that, I will be in the Rio Hotel in Las Vegas during the convention, and it'd be nice to see you guys there. So thank you for watching. Thank you for those people who very kindly added comments and asked for different things. Tried to help where I can, and thank you for your support. I hope you enjoy my videos. And there you go. I'll see you in the next video. This is Lee, your virtual airline pilot, saying bye for now, and I'll catch you again. Bye bye now.